By 55, David Miller was a titan of New York luxury real estate. His name echoed in penthouses and boardrooms, a guarantee of deals sealed and markets read like open books. Skyscrapers punctuated the city skyline, each a testament to his relentless drive. To the outside world, his life shimmered. A Hamptons estate, manicured lawns, a home a magazine spread couldn't capture, shared with his equally accomplished wife, Sarah. A marketing executive with campaigns that set trends, Sarah moved through the city's elite circles with effortless grace. Together, they were the power couple, charity galas and society events their playground, their image flawless. Laughter bounced off the walls of their home, their future as bright as the city lights. But behind the facade, cracks were forming. David, a man who built empires on noticing details, started seeing unsettling shifts in Sarah over the past months. Subtle at first, easy to dismiss. Sarah, always driven, was now swallowed by work. Business trips stretched longer, evenings vanished into conference calls. He'd catch her eyes glued to her phone, face tight as she typed furiously. "Work," she'd say, a practiced smile in place, but her eyes wouldn't quite meet his. Something was off. It wasn't just her schedule. Sarah, once vibrant, now seemed distant. The joy had drained from her laughter, leaving a hollow echo. Conversations that used to dance now stumbled, an invisible wall rising between them. David's gut clenched, but he pushed it down. New promotion, workload, that had to be it. His own world, meanwhile, remained solid. Deals, showings, high-stakes negotiations. The rhythm of his professional life was a familiar comfort. Clients trusted him implicitly, knew he'd move mountains for them. But his heart, his true north, was always Sarah. Work could wait. He'd leave early, cook her favorite dishes, light candles, choose the perfect wine. Weekends were escapes, romantic getaways designed to rekindle their flame. Movies, walks in Central Park, quiet evenings, these were his anchors. Despite the growing distance, he clung to the belief in their bond. He'd supported her ambitions, now he'd support whatever this was. Doubt was a luxury he wouldn't afford, but the unease grew, a persistent hum beneath the surface. Sarah's answers became clipped, vague. She deflected, changed subjects, a practiced evasion. The warmth in her eyes, once his sun, was gone. She barely looked at him, especially when he asked about late nights, about new jewelry appearing, unexplained, expensive. His instincts, honed in the cutthroat world of deals, screamed foul play. Yet he hesitated to confront her, terrified of shattering the life they'd built. He chose to trust, to hope his suspicions were just shadows. But dread was a tide, rising higher each day, threatening to drown him. Cracks in their foundation were widening into chasms, laughter, shared dreams, all fading echoes. They were a team once, partners. Now, the future felt distant, unreachable. He yearned to reignite what they had, but the tension was a live wire between them. Something fundamental had shifted. One Saturday, seeking a distraction, David decided to tackle the leaky pipe in the basement, a chore he'd been putting off. Sarah was away at a marketing conference, the house strangely silent. He welcomed the quiet, a chance to focus on something tangible, solvable. Tools in hand, he descended into the basement, a realm of forgotten memories, holiday decorations, relics of their shared life. The drip, drip, drip of water grew louder, a steady rhythm against the silence. Kneeling by the pipe, he found a strange comfort in the simplicity. Fix it. Clear problem, clear solution, control in a world spinning out of it. He lost himself in the familiar motions, tightening, sealing. Then, faint voices from above sliced through his concentration. TV? Accidentally left on? But the voices sharpened, and a cold dread settled in his chest. One voice, unmistakably Sarah's, light, playful, so unlike the strained tones she used with him now. But it wasn't just her tone. The second voice, male, low, confident, sent ice through his veins. He froze, wrench still in hand, straining to hear. "Don't worry, darlin'," the man purred, a voice that made David's skin crawl. "While you're at work, I'll take care of everything. The house will go up, your naive husband with it, insurance payout, then we're free." The wrench slipped, clattering onto the concrete floor. His heart hammered against his ribs, thoughts racing, a sickening understanding blooming in his gut. Desperately he listened for Sarah's reply, praying he'd misheard. "No one will suspect," Sarah said, her voice steady, chillingly calm. "I can't wait for this to be over." The world tilted. The basement, once a refuge, now felt like a tomb. Her words slammed into him, each syllable a blow. Sarah, his Sarah, the woman he loved, was planning to kill him. A wave of pain, rage, crashed over him, threatening to pull him under. Coldness, late nights, empty stares. It all clicked into place, a horrifying mosaic of betrayal. But amidst the crushing pain, a steely resolve ignited. David was no stranger to battles. Real estate was a war zone. Success built on grit and adaptability. Skills he'd need now. Time was a luxury he didn't have. He had to act. They underestimated him. They saw him as an obstacle, easily removed. He'd prove them wrong. He'd dismantle their plan with the same precision he used to build his empire. He gripped the wrench tighter, listening to their fading footsteps above. Their careless dismissal fueled a fire within him. He wouldn't be a victim, not without a fight. Quietly, he left the basement, moving through the house, every creak, every shadow amplified. He needed a strategy, flawless, airtight. One wrong move, and it was over. His mind raced, sifting through options. He needed proof, undeniable, to expose their treachery and turn this situation to his advantage. High stakes, but inaction was death. To buy time, he pretended to leave, telling Sarah about a crucial business meeting. Illusion was key. She had to believe he suspected nothing. He stayed close, a shadow waiting for the right moment. Days blurred into a tense performance. He played the oblivious husband. Sarah returned from her conference, her mask firmly in place, confident in her deception. But David was always a step ahead, gathering evidence, piece by piece, reinforcing his plan. This wasn't just survival, it was retribution. A dangerous game, but he was all in. Every conversation with Sarah was a tightrope walk, each smile a mask for the fury simmering beneath. Anger was fuel now, driving his actions. Confrontation was reckless. He needed irrefutable proof, a foolproof plan. The stakes were astronomical. He was prepared to gamble everything. Back in the dim basement, heart hammering, he eavesdropped again. Sarah and Mark. Each word a fresh cut, but he stayed calm, knowing any sound could betray him. He pulled out his phone, recording, every incriminating detail, every cruel word etched into the digital file, a weapon forming in his hand. Hands trembling, he steadied them, ensuring perfect audio. Sarah's voice, once warm, now dripped ice. Mark, smug, confident, outlining plans that chilled David to the bone. When he had enough, he stopped recording, slipped the phone back into his pocket. Caution was ingrained in his being. He moved silently, leaving the basement, avoiding the creaky floorboards. Thoughts laser-focused, heart racing, purpose clear. He had to move swiftly, keep them in the dark until the perfect moment. They wouldn't break him. Not now. Not ever. David drove straight to a hotel, continuing the business trip charade. Reception desk, professional demeanor, calm facade masking the storm within. Room key in hand, door closed, he finally allowed himself to feel the full weight of it. Betrayal, a knife twisting deep. But rage was a trap. He needed clarity. He sat on the bed, replayed the recording. Dark satisfaction flickered. Proof. He briefly considered the police, dismissed it. Too slow, too risky. He didn't want justice, he wanted reckoning. Determination hardened. He began to formulate his plan, meticulously, anticipating every variable. He'd use their own tactics against them. This wasn't just about survival, it was about reclaiming his life. He needed an ally. James Davis, old friend, private investigator. Trust, forged in shared history. David laid it all out. Betrayal. Evidence. James listened, disbelief morphing into resolve. "I'm in," James said, firm. "They'll pay." Together, they crafted a scenario designed to lull Sarah and Mark into a false sense of security. David had to maintain the charade, unsuspecting husband, while building the trap. High stakes, patience crucial. James installed hidden cameras, microphones, throughout the house, strategically placed, capturing every corner, every sound. The trap was set, but David couldn't relax. He played his role, interacting with Sarah as if nothing had changed, while gathering more evidence, documenting every interaction. Psychological strain was immense, testing his resilience, but justice fueled him. Days dragged, each moment with Sarah a painful reminder. He watched her, every subtle shift, pause, hint of suspicion. But Sarah seemed convinced. Deception complete. Phone calls intercepted, analyzed, fragments pieced together, preparing for their downfall. In a strange way, precision brought solace. Reclaiming control, inch by inch, gave him strength. In the calm before the storm, reflection. Betrayal had forced a reckoning. Life, values, priorities reevaluated. Pushed to his limits, tested beyond measure, he had survived. Stronger now, more resilient. A renewed sense of purpose. Rebuild. New chapter. Not defined by pain, but by justice. Difficult road ahead, but determined. Future built on his terms. Everything was ready. Final move poised. Meticulously planned. No detail overlooked. Every contingency accounted for. Confrontation looming. A dark cloud. But amidst the tension, calm settled. Confidence unshakable. Justice would prevail. He was ready for the storm. Path to resolution fraught with risk, uncertainty, but he was ready, protected himself, reclaimed his life. Morning. Business trip day. But for David, a strange mix of dread and anticipation. Final act. Revenge brewing. Showered, dressed, bedroom. Sarah, coffee, phone. Morning, he greeted, voice betraying nothing. Morning, dear, she replied, distracted. Plans? Casual. Big deal, remember? Gone a few days. Faint smile, distant. Good luck. He packed, deliberately, making sure she noticed, laptop, documents, clothes. Illusion maintained. Checked phone for flight details. Deception deepened. Suitcase zipped. Exaggerated decisiveness. Off then. Doorway. Luggage in hand. Brief kiss. Cheek. Devoid of emotion. Small smile from her. Hidden intentions? Safe travels, she said, watching him leave. Driving away, heart pounding, adrenaline surge, deception's urgency. Not airport, secluded hotel. James Davis waiting. Command center. Live feed from the house, surveillance equipment capturing every corner. Tension thick. David's eyes glued to the screen. Sarah, kitchen, lunch, ordinary day. Mark arrived. Cruel reminder. Betrayal. James. Calm, detached. David. Every second a fresh wound. Flirtatious remarks, stolen kisses, evening plans. Unaware. Every word recorded. Audacity leading them to the trap. Brazen, David muttered, anger rising. James nodded, eyes fixed on the screen. Pride's their downfall. Time crawled, watching, inching closer to confrontation. Sarah, Mark, oblivious, preparing arson. Materials gathered, every step monitored. Night fell. Darkness mirrored malice. Hotel room, tense. Anxiety building. Tonight, everything changed. No turning back. Ready? James asked, glance at David. Ready, David replied, resolve solidifying. Whatever happened next. Ready. Sarah, Mark. Grim determination. Arson plan in motion. Sarah's composure chilling. Deliberate steps, flammable liquids poured. Every move recorded. Mark, nervous lighter fidgeting. False bravado masking fear. Authorities contacted. Arrival timed with their attempt. Strategy, let them start, then intervene. Before irreparable. Mark flicked the lighter. Flame dangerously close. Gasoline-soaked furniture. Moment of truth. David, James raced to the house. Hearts pounding, engine roaring. Arrived just in time. Lighter flame flickering. David burst in. Thunderclap. Stop! Silence shattered. Sarah whipped around, face drained. Caught. Mark froze, lighter slipping, eyes wide. Did you think you could escape? David asked, cold. Phone raised, surveillance footage displayed. Every word, every step recorded. Sarah's confidence crumbled. Eyes darted, escape routes sought. David, wait, stammered. He cut her off. Don't even. Voice like ice. You were going to kill me, Sarah. You and this... Charles tried to speak. Sirens wailed, distant, then deafening. Police arrived. Flashing lights, red, blue shadows. Officers swarmed in. Situation assessed. Mr. Miller? Officer approached. David nodded, handed over phone. Evidence. Everything's here. Quietly. Attempted arson. Conspiracy to murder. Sarah, Mark, handcuffed. Shock, horror, led away. David watched. Victory, sorrow, people he trusted, conspirators. Seeking destruction, justice served, weight of betrayal heavy, investigative team finished. David remained. Living room, weight of ordeal settled. House, once love, now tainted. James approached, hand on shoulder. You did it, Alex. Over. David nodded, gaze distant. Whirl of emotions, survived nightmare. Wounds would take time. Thank you, James. Exhaustion. Couldn't have done it without you. James smiled, unwavering support. Always, friend. Move forward now. Deep breath. Burden lifted slightly. Future uncertain, but his. Standing in the house, refuge, prison, vowed to rebuild. Justice served. Last look. Stepped outside. Fresh night air. Balm to the storm. Road ahead difficult but ready, armed with hard-earned lessons. Confident. Find his way. Courtroom tense. Judge's verdict. Guilty. Sophia Miller, Mark Brown. Attempted murder. Conspiracy to commit arson. Undeniable case. Meticulous records. Cold, methodical discussions replayed. Depth of scheme, undeniable. Silence. Verdict read. David, back row. Calm. Relief washed over. Burden lifted. Sarah, Mark, led away. Frozen faces. Defeat. Insurmountable betrayal exposed. Hidden puppet masters faced consequences. Judge's gavel echoed. End of a painful chapter. Lies, deceit. Community once admired their perfect lives, now on David's side. Neighbors, nods before, now comfort. Betrayal shattered community fabric. Shock. David's quiet strength stood out. Resilience admired. Storm weathered, not broken. Testament to resilience. Instead of breaking, he turned it into strength. Symbol of courage. Events, admiration poured in. Stories of inspiration. David humble. Justice collective effort. Legal battle over. Rebuilding life. Insurance payout. Heart of conspiracy. Rightfully his. Assets liquidated. Financial cushion. Saying goodbye to the house. Love, betrayal. Not easy, necessary. Walls held bittersweet memories. No longer refuge. Moving forward only option. Buyer found. New memories to be made. David prepared to leave everything behind. Sale. Fresh start. Modern apartment. Bustling city. New possibilities. Renewal. Trials endured. Eyes opened. Similar betrayals. Story could empower. Newfound wealth. Insight. Dedicated himself to helping others wronged. Volunteered with legal organizations, support groups, guidance, resources, struggling. Story moved many. Resilience, recovery, possible. Immense pain. Journey took him across country. Shared experiences. Pain into strength. Honesty, darkest moments. Healing steps. Words resonated. Reclaim story. Rebuild lives. Sought after speaker. Hope, resilience. Thousands inspired. Memoir written. Betrayal to empowerment. bestseller. Beacon of inspiration. Greatest challenges. Shadows of past left behind. Future hope. Strength. New beginnings. Never understood Sarah. Why? 34 years. What lacked? Perhaps never understand. Truly loved her. Treated her like royalty. She chose different path. Faces punishment now. Friend. End of story. Royal-like. Subscribe. Force be with you.